If I could speak with my 18-year-old self, or if I was speaking with somebody out of high school, they just graduated, that just turned 18, what mistakes I would share with them that I made about money. Number one, I was focused more on hourly wage versus purpose. So what begins to happen is any job that paid the most, that's what I was focused on. I really wasn't thinking about, does this really align with my assignment or with what God has called me to do? So if there was a job that was paying $12 or $15 or $18, I was always looking for more money. Then I would get on the job and I'm just like, man, this is a little bit more than what I expected. Then I didn't want to work the job anymore. I say the way that you could be able to find what you are called to and what God has assigned to you to is speaking with them. As you begin to pray and seek God, God will begin to share with you what you are assigned to do. And that's what happened to me. I started a commercial cleaning business, and then I had started a business where I became a realtor. And that gave me more confidence over my life because it made me feel like I get out of it what I put into it, versus somebody telling me this is what we are going to pay you and this is what we feel like you're worth. And now I determine my worth. Now I can still be able to keep this job for benefits or stability while I continue to build this on the side. But if you begin to focus on purpose and what God has assigned you to, that will be more fruitful than you just chasing money, anybody that's willing to pay you more, because you do not know if that's what God has assigned you to do. And then what God has assigned you to do, He will make way for financially for you to benefit as well. And that's what happened to me. But you have to keep Him first in your business ventures and continue to communicate with Him. And so that would be the first thing that I would do, is chase purpose, not the bag. Because the bag will have you working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week with no rest, because they make you feel like I got to get the money. And then now you begin to jeopardize your health. I know people that they was working 2 shifts. Okay, I'm gonna work overnight and I'm gonna work in the afternoon, and then they wasn't prioritizing their health because they was focused on making $1,500 a week. But then they end up jeopardizing their health because of it. So the mindset is we have to focus on what God has called us to do, and He will give us what we need, and we begin to tell Him what it is that we're looking for, what our goals are, and we have to make sure is that what God has called us to do, and He'll make a way for it. But we have to be focused on what God has assigned us to do. And after I focus on purpose, the bag will come. Number 2, your education does not stop because you graduated college and high school. Education does not stop because you have graduated high school and college. So what that means is we have the mindset, I'm no longer in school, I don't have to educate myself anymore. So let's expound on that a little bit. I don't have to go to the library. I don't have to study. Life is a test. So we have to continue to read the Word of God to be able to learn how to navigate through life, to be able to have emotional stability, learn how to forgive, learn how to love. But at the same time, it's important for us to educate ourselves on new business ventures, new skills, so that God has called us to do. So just because God has assigned you to something doesn't mean that you shouldn't educate yourself about it. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't learn about it. Read, study. These different things are important. And learn business. And that's what the process I'm in right now in my life. I'm learning business. So I begin to see what the Word of God says about entrepreneurship. I see what the Word of God says about business. But at the same time, I'm also reading business books on sales and entrepreneurship and all these different things, so I could be able to be well versed. And not only just about business, about it. Let's say you are getting married, about relationships. Begin to seek God about these areas of your life, and also read books on these different areas of your life so that you could be able to be successful in these areas. I really wasn't good with relationships. when I was younger. I didn't really understand the foundation of a relationship. I didn't really care because my thought pattern was, what are you doing for me? If you're not doing anything for me, then we have no reason to connect, because that was what I was taught when I was younger. But now I'm learning it's not all about what people can do for you. It's about how can you show up and serve? How can you be able to be of service? How can you be able to help somebody? And guess what? You'll reap what you sow. So I'm learning more about relationships, learning more about friendships. And so these are areas that I would inform you to educate yourself on, so that you could be a person that could be able to give back, that could be able to help, that could be able to serve. And not only, it's not all about what somebody can do for me. In the process of you serving somebody, God will make a way for you financially, because you never know who knows who. And what you do for somebody else, you'll reap it. And then next thing you know, you may have a connection where somebody could be able to connect you with somebody that could possibly change your life. Third thing that I would say is, do not be jealous of somebody else's success. Walk your own path. Stay in your own lane. Me being jealous of you is not going to be a benefit to me, because God has you and I in two different lanes, two different walks. Even if we do the same thing, that me looking at you and watching you and studying you, it needs to either be motivation, not jealousy. So I don't need to continue to keep comparing myself to where you are, because I don't know what you've been through. That was one of the main things that I had an issue with. I can't look at where you are because I don't know where you started and I don't know what you went through. I'm looking at where you are today. I don't know the pitfalls. I don't know the valleys that you went through, the drama that you went through, the trauma that you went through. I don't know. So I can't compare myself to you. I can look at you as a motivation where I would like to get there one day. But I don't know what you went through to get there. And I don't even know what path that may be, because there was times where I was jealous of people that were doing things illegal. I was jealous of people that were doing things illegally as well. But the main thing that I will focus on is what God has assigned you to do. That'll change your life, just focusing on what He has told you to do instead of looking at everybody else. Oh, they got there quicker. I say this. I had a baby at 36, excuse me. I had a baby at 36 years old. People started approaching me and saying, hey, when you gonna have your first child? And hey, you're getting up in age. But I knew God showed me Nolan in my dream. And I had to focus on that. I couldn't look around me and look at all the other married couples with kids and think to myself, why God hasn't blessed me? Because I got to that point where I was starting to feel like that. But you got to focus on what He has called you, what He has given you. And guess what? The time came when God blessed my family with Nolan, with my first son. So I just wanted to share with you, as you begin to focus on what God has called you to do, stop comparing yourself to others, and also make sure that you focus on the purpose on what God assigned you to, not the bag, because the bag could put you in a position where you could possibly lose your life and your health can decline. And as you focus on purpose, the bag will come. And last but not least, education does not end because high school and college has ended. Remember, life is a test. So education in all areas is going to be very important for you to be able to pass the test. Hope that blessed you. These are some mistakes that I made with finances and life that I would like to share with my younger self or someone that's 18. Begin to share this with your nephew, your son-in-law. Share with your nephew, your cousin, your little brother, your friend. Begin to share this video. I hope that it blesses you. Stay tuned for the next one.